going on. Uh, it's like there should be like boundaries for people. Like if you're gonna bomb someone with some information, this is Cowboy Cigarette, by the way. It's not no dank. Uh, it's called having couth. It's also called being tactful. You know what I'm saying? Which is also like, look, being respectful, being considerate of another, not trying to overstep your boundary or project too much of what you think about it or pry. You don't want to pry in. Or here's another one: is like present someone a gift package with the pipe bomb in it, metaphorically. Okay, it's like, here's this gift. It's right. That's what a backhanded compliment is kind of. That's the totem that I see for that fucking whole strategy. There is it's also called loaded logic, loaded question. And in a way, it's the opposite of couth and tact, but it's like couth and tact in the fact that it was cunning and calculated and manipulative and very well thought out and premeditated. You know what I'm saying? See, the flip on that is being more on the fly, is like being like, look, more reactive to the situation. As because look, how can you premeditate something you're reacting to? You can't. If you're on the reactionary end, all you can do is preset in your mind, though. It's like this: I will not violate these boundaries, and I will operate off this kind of conduct, and I will try to practice the restraint to fulfill what my goal is. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like someone's like, oh, when did you start feeling that way? It's like once I made the decision to, and that's the big deal right there, is the decision process. Doesn't mean it's done, but it just means that you're at a point now where you can visualize in your mind what you're going for and you set out for it. It's almost like, look, Musashi talks about there's a point where it's called crossing at a ford, and it's the conditions are favorable to commit yourself to the journey. And it's like, listen, even if you set off from the shore, basically you go set all your shit together, get it right, and you go, even if the wind goes out on you halfway across the journey, you got to have the fortitude already determined in your mind to row the rest of the way if you have to. And hey, if the wind, even if it's a light wind, man, the whole way, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot better than if you had to row it out the whole way. But hey, if you needed to, you would have. You know what I'm saying? But see, knowing when's the proper timing and the improper timing, man. And it's like, listen, there's some topics, conversational topics, that don't, you never be the one to engage. If someone invites you in on that topic, that conversational type of stuff, that's when you engage in it or you decline. You know what I'm saying? It's like me, I got a really sensitive brain and ears. And when people just blah, 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 man, did you see all that stuff about them gay people on TV? This and that. Did you hear about all these cops shooting these people? Did you hear about them passing this law? You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, from day to day, vexed sorely from the conversations of the wicked, man. Because it's like, man, I know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And if I want to go find out, I'll go watch the news too. But I know what's going on. I've seen enough. And I got enough of this poison inside of my head that I have to filter out as it is. This water hose of poison. And you know what I'm saying? It sucks. So it's like, man, that's another reason why you don't want to blast out, you know what I'm saying, or railroad, or you can micromanagingly try to inject your points when it's like look, you're preaching at the choir here, and it's like, look, we gotta, you know. So but if someone is stuck in that train of thought and their record's on repeat, how hard is it to get their record to freaking skip? You know what I'm saying? And stop the loop. You know what I'm saying? That's like the chords around your heart. Every one is like a loop. You know what I'm saying? And it'll take you round and round and round until you snip that and I don't know. It does. They're weights, man, that do weigh you down and make you heavy. You know what I'm saying? And that isn't. That means there's a spiritual problem there that needs to be fixed, and the heaviness is evidence of it. But I mean, there is a time to be heavy and a good place for it, but there's also a wrong way to carry it. Like for every emotion, every negative thing has certain times where that's normal. But if you carry it into times when longer than it should take, that's a sign that there's something wrong there. You know what I'm saying? There's all these signs, man, inside of all of us in our lives, and it's like I heard this dude David Wilkerson, and I was really suspicious of him. What up, man?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'll come talk to you in a minute.
Look, Dave Wilkerson, this dude. It's like I'm suspicious of anyone who has that much money, but I can't help it, man. But I was listening to a sermon, and it was talked about being delivered to the spirit of death, and like the spirit of death gets to daily mess with you, not because you're not a believer or there's secret sins and hidden sins in your life. You know what I'm saying? It's actually because you're past that now. You actually do believe, and God, like, you're a spectacle. It's like literally the heaven and all the demons and all that shit and the principalities. It's like they are watching what's going on and they get entertainment out of it. You know what I'm saying? So for some reason, it's a spectacle. Like our lives truly are like Truman Show spectacle, and it's even worse than you would think. I'm right here. There's high traffic around today. That used to be my little retreat there, but it's like I think people know that now, and it's like, in a way, I unclogged the energy there, and I can't sit there anymore because the stream's too fucking. There's too much pressure in it, and I can only do it late at night. It's funny, but yeah, man, it's kind of like that, man. So there's healthy ways to have conversation or to tell people how you feel and talk about things. It's like, look, if it's a subject that's going to cause a lot of like trauma and psychological pain, it's going to stir up emotions, you wouldn't want to go into that untactfully and without couth, because you're not the person that you're working the freaking magic on by stirring up all their freaking repressed fucking memories of being young and reducing them down to a fucking childlike mindset. You know what I'm saying? And now you're wondering why that person is fucking crashes their car into a freaking tree. You know what I'm saying? Later. It's like wielding that. It's like even wielding the sword of the truth. Look, dude, it's a real sword. It really cuts people and hurts them. So be careful how you use it. You know what I'm saying? Use it the right way, because I mean, if it works right, that would mean there'd be a wrong way to use it too. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing with the untactful, uncouth, someone who doesn't, a gorilla in a china shop. It's like, yeah, it's like if you don't do this thing right, you're gonna cause more damage. And then it's like, you're not the person that, to you got entertainment out of it, but the person that you fucking just tormented and brought up all kinds of fucking, stirred up a bunch of shit, and then other people that don't think about these matters at all, you know what I'm saying, you could be seeding their minds you know what I'm saying, with unmindfully, man. It's like, that's the thing, being unmindful. In a way, what makes you unmindful is by being too fucking thinking about the wrong thing too much, focusing on the wrong thing way too much, being way too busy in your freaking head. Like I heard the devil is busy, and it's like totally, man. Your mind is like a minefield, and people can. It's like a person like me. If I use this knowledge for evil, I could provoke people into doing bad things to themselves. You know what I'm saying? But instead, since I recognize that this is like it's a respected thing. And that's a part about it. It's like, look, I'm not a respecter of persons because everyone is going to get that same courtesy from me. So not going to preferentially treat one over the other. You know what I'm saying? I just assume it's right to treat everyone to the best way of your ability with manners. You know what I'm saying? Because if you operate off of manners and courtesy already, you're on the right foot. It's like what it is being clean in your own heart. When I know I ain't giving you no freaking hard time, I ain't doing you no wrong. I know I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that. My conscience is clear, and that takes away all kinds of ammunition from. It doesn't matter who it is, who the enemy's using to try to get you. It's the clear conscience. But see, they're so good, like I said, on the opposite of this. They invade, they pry, they glean information, they make an intelligence dossier, and they try to figure out how to crack your fucking bape shit code, which means when you get so frustrated, you lose all that stuff I'm talking about now, being courteous, don't overstep your boundaries, don't pry, don't deceive, don't manipulate, don't be harsh, be impatient. You know what I'm saying? They will operate off all these freaking those rules. So only way to beat them by the right way, by overcoming evil with good. It takes a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy because they know how to hit all your freaking buttons. And if you got anything, any kind of pride, if you got the wrong dog in the fight, they're gonna fucking get it out somehow, man. And I mean, in a way, they don't really win, but they just made you tear yourself down and step down to their level. So to them, that's a victory because they can't really get you any other way. So I mean, it's a very F you on the way out the door type of a fucking tactic. And it's just this stuff is art of war, man. And it seriously is a spiritual battle. So look, you got to be careful and have respect for these things too. And remember that. Remember what is holy is holy. You know what I'm saying? And don't try to mix it in with the wrong stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. It's like, man, you want to blast me with all this negativity and then try to preach at me something. You know what I'm saying? If you don't do it right, it's like 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. You know what I'm saying? Like all the time. So you're really just stuck. Once again, it's loops. And it's a striving with 4 fucking hands. You're whatever you're doing ain't working right. But look, just because you're getting hit up, sometimes that's because you are one of God's children. It's not because you're cursed and fucking no, God's abandoned you. That's not what it is. It's like, actually, no, you're under harsh, rigorous investigation by high principalities on both sides. Because look, like I said, you start to get the reputation. And it's in a way they're waiting for like Neos from the Matrix to wake up and truly step out in faith and believe. You know what I'm saying? So they're all waiting themselves for us to recognize these things and then walk in them. That's the evidence that it happened is that like, look, boom. It's kind of like when the fire comes down and burns Elijah's wood. You know what I'm saying? At that point, there's no more denying that these things are in operation, or like when Christ was healing people of demons and sicknesses and blindness and all that, and people were like, you cast them out by witchcraft. You cast them out by kung fu demons. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're gonna say all kinds of crazy stuff, and hey, whatever. I realize it's kind of is funny when they do start coming to, the more crazy and ruthless they get, they're attacking you. It's like that's the more flack you're taking, it lets you know you're over the target. If you're shooting in the dark and they start shooting back, it's like, oh, I'm getting close now.